The family. Okay.
I'm trying to see all the people on here.
8:59.
Hi, Wendy and Bob.
1 minute, everybody.
Yeah.
Chop, chop, chop,
You're
chop, chop.
That's good.
Yeah, basic. Oh, hey, Sean.
Yes.
He's
Oh.
tall. He's darker than
Basie watched too.
Oh, little basic
I
kids.
think he was sleeping.
And farting.
I really
There's some
have
sleeping
to.
and farting. But
That was me.
yeah.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Katie. Hi, Liz.
Nice background.
Okay, we're 9 o'clock. Are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Woohoo!
So, hi everybody. This is so exciting that we have so many people joining. Hello.
First of all,
Yay! Yay!
I just want to mention we've kind of played around with what format we were going to do with this, but I think since it's a small group right now, we can just kind of leave everybody available to talk and just try to be aware.
Speak up.
Corey, it's hard to hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to hear me.
There you go.
projection, Corey. that theater Projection. just eats sound.
It was kind of garbled.
Adjustments over there. Okay. So, that's right. So first of all, I just want to give a huge congratulations to Susan Lyles, who's the director for the piece. You might see her.
Yeah. Yay.
And you probably already know by this point from the intro, but Susan is the founder of And Toto 2 Theater Company down in Denver, and she directed Missy in this production over a year ago. So thank you, Susan. And then of course, the absolutely amazing and talented Missy Moore is next to me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for supporting theater at this very, very crazy time.
Yay!
Yeah. All right.
And I would be remiss if I did not thank profusely Cameron Blair, who's our managing director and helped make a lot of this happen.
Yay, Cammy.
Yeah, Karen.
And then, last but not least, the magician, the wizard behind the curtain, Mr. Sean Jeffries.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, Sean.
So, this is really an open forum for everybody. So, feel free to ask whatever questions about the process, the piece, your thoughts about it. This obviously was our first ever full production stream, which was a pretty scary process for us, and there was definitely a learning curve as well. So there's so much to talk about, and just to kind of spark the conversation a little bit, we had some infuriating news today, which is that the Trump administration actually removed transgender from the protections.
Okay, you need to move
In other words, any
that way a little bit or something.
say, you're transgendered, I'm not going to
Thanks,
help you.
Nick.
That happens today, and today just also happens to be the 4th anniversary of the shootings at the nightclub in Orlando.
Oh. Oh my God.
Day for this piece, and that kind of set the tone for us coming into it. Anyway, with that, please feel free, anyone, to ask a question or make a comment of anybody.
Don't be shy.
Well, I'll ask a question. So, hey, Missy, it's Nina. How are you? Congrats. It was awesome. I just wonder, because you did this play a year ago, and then you remount it now in a time when it's so extremely relevant. Not that it wasn't relevant a year ago, but like universally relevant now, or it just seems so much more. How was that? What is the difference for you? What was the comparison?
Well, I think that this play itself is so it's timeless. The message is about diversity and inclusion and stepping outside of your comfort zone. And I think it is a daily struggle and a daily fight. And I think that Elise, the wonderful playwright, does an amazing job of just capturing the humanity of a single soul that wants to be right and wants to be better, but is set up in a world and has led a life that is very enclosed, you know, and once those seams start to break open, you see her true colors come out. And that's my favorite part about this show, is that she learns so much, not only of herself, but of the journey of what it means to identify as an individual, be it as a he, she, they, them, you know, just everybody has a right to be who they are allowed to be.
Well, and the fact that she admitted that she still had so much to learn and that there wasn't ever an end to learning, you brought that through so beautifully, and it was so beautifully written that she still was able to make those mistakes and admit those mistakes and say that there was still evolution to come. It was really beautifully handled on all counts. So that's not so much a question, but as just praise for all of you guys.
Thank you so much. And I really credit Susan Lyles a lot to that. She kept me in check from the initial audition, you know, a year and a half ago, all the way up until our final dress rehearsal. You know, she reminded me that Trisha Lee is one person in America, and this is her journey, and it is not my job to encapsulate an entire feeling for an entire group of people. It's just her journey and the way in which she learns it. And Elise, I think, just does a brilliant job of putting that down on the page. It's so accessible, at least to me as an actor. So, thank you.
When was the piece written?
Susan, originally 2013, right?
Let me look at the script.
I want to say 20.
Well, what I got in front of me is a 2019, but I think it was quite a while ago. 2013, yeah.
Yeah, Missy actually rewrote much of this show and gave us a new version, and then she ended up rewriting the end of the play for this particular version that you saw. It's a brand new ending. As far as I know, we're the first to perform it. So it was really fun to work hand in hand with her throughout this process, and how open and receptive she was to our ideas and suggestions, and it truly was a collaborative process via Zoom.
Missy, how was it for you performing to an empty theater?
I don't like it.
Pardon?
Yeah, I mean, I am a stage actor. I am trained Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater Performance, and I think my favorite part of being an actor is that lovely symbiotic relationship that you get when you walk on stage and you can't say cut or, oh, we got to do that over again. You just have to take that deep breath and continue forward. And one that just gives you all of that energy, and it's different night by night. So yeah, doing this for Corey and Sean and Susan via Zoom for the last week it was nice to get some responses, but I miss it. I miss the theater more than you will ever know. Yeah.
I just want to say that you did a wonderful job, you know, of holding the space of being in a theater with an audience, even though we weren't there for you to see and respond to you. It's not easy. I got to hand it to you. That was really, really a great job.
Thank you. I mean, like, what you're seeing right now is a beautiful set, but what I'm seeing are covered chairs and extension cords and
Masks.
masks, yeah, and this hanger and just like elements of the theater, you know. But it was so funny thinking, okay, opening night.
Are you still gonna get the champagne reception?
Well,
Good girl. What's your answer?
She got flowers from her parents.
Of course she did.
So I have a question for you, Susan, if you'd speak to this. I know there was frustration involved, not frustration, but a unique set of circumstances involved with Missy and you being so far apart as director and actor. I know it probably helped that it's a revisit of the piece, but could you speak to us about the difficulties involved in directing a show via Zoom?
It's an interesting process. I was just telling someone, who was I talking to earlier before we all got on? But we were talking about the fact it's not a process that's fun. Because, you know, we're used to being in the same room and feeding off the energy, and it's easier to read each other when you're face to face instead of in a Zoom room, as it were. But now saying that, you know, Missy and I both took turns sitting out on our patios, you know, enjoying the sunshine while we rehearsed. But it's an interesting process. I know Missy can talk about this a little bit, but the last week of rehearsal, I think we got into studio for two rehearsals. So she was on her feet for two of them, where she actually had space to work. And we were scheduled the following week to do two more before she headed back to Colorado. But due to the protests that were going on in LA and the curfew of 4 o'clock, you know, we had to cancel those last two spaces. She did very gallantly, you know, work out of her bedroom, you know, in LA, and rehearsed as well as she could. It's tough. I mean, I really do like being in the presence of other artists physically when I work. A lot of times I'll ask them to do something and then I'll think, is that really possible? So I like to get up and walk within the space to make sure I'm not asking for the impossible. And this way you're not able to do it. But it is a good thing that she and I have worked together before and that we like each other a lot. It made the process a whole lot easier.
So really what you had to put up with was Sean and Corey then, right?
Well, exactly. Oh my God.
100%.
Sorry, Susan.
No, it was a treat. It's fascinating doing tech from a distance as well, especially with cameras and not seeing quite the same thing everybody else is seeing. But I trusted my tech team. Sean was amazing.
Yeah, he did incredible.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question of everybody out there, just because this was our first experience with this platform, doing this way. How was it for you experiencing the piece, being filmed? You know, obviously we weren't trying completely for a film experience. We were going more for it's a live theater experience on camera. And I'm curious what your thoughts are about that, and if you felt that the intensity of the piece came through even though it was on camera, and just your overall impressions of doing theater in this format just for this time right now.
I can speak to that. Hello. The first thing that I noticed was the sound of how it didn't sound live, but that went away really quickly. I was like, oh, this is going to be really taxing and I'm going to get tired of listening to this specific sound, but that went away because I was sucked into it, because it wasn't over edited. It wasn't perfect. It still had that live feel. So that's just a tinny, however you record it, sound with being piped over YouTube, but it didn't distract me from the piece. And I was able to understand her for the entire thing and hear her. I didn't miss a word.
Yeah, I agree. It was. I still experienced that thing that happens in the theater where everything else just goes black and you kind of zoom in without expecting to or without trying to, and it's like the person on stage is just a pinpoint and you're just completely drawn into that tunnel vision with them, which I don't experience on film, but I felt it tonight. There were so many moments that everything else disappeared and I just felt that live theater connection.
Mm-hmm.
You could also just have Missy in everything, and then I think you're gonna be okay, because her performance, Missy, your performance was so compelling that I thought, like, the three of us got together and we had dinner and then we sat and did this, and I thought we'd be getting up and like walking around like I am with most Zoom things.
Well,
and we were riveted the entire time.
But we got to share it together.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? I think had I been sitting by myself, it wouldn't have been as, you know, I laughed at the, you know, like when somebody else laughed, that piece of it I enjoyed because I was with these two.
Yeah.
Had I been by myself, I would have missed that. That's what I miss about watching things on Zoom, is that there's not that shared experience.
But I also plan on watching this again to experience that on the solo level, because I haven't really had that much need for Zoom during quarantine. That's just not part of my world. So I would actually like to experience that just as a solo audience member as well. But she's right. I mean, us being able to kind of laugh and cry together. And by the way, there was a lot of crying. It was.
I thought there was a lot of laughter, and thank you.
That too.
Well, that too.
I was very happy that I could. Well, let's see.
Uh-oh, he got muted.
Oh, Bob.
Where'd you go?
Entire bag of potato chips. Nope.
He liked the snapping turtle thing. We thought that was funny.
Oh, it was so funny.
She's funny.
Yeah.
Trisha Lee is funny.
She is.
I don't know.
Elise really does a lovely job of infusing that kind of language. You know, used to give me the screaming memes and, you know, dance the hoochie coochie at the holiday church star. And I just think that, like, that particular element, as an actor, I hated it because they are the hardest lines to learn. But as I learned them and got them in my mouth, I mean, it just, like, it informed me so much of who she was as an individual. And she actually has a really lovely sense of humor and a big heart and such a quirky way of looking at the world. So, there's that.
Hello, everybody. Hi, it's Liz. And Corey, I would say the next time you do this, which might be sooner than you know, I don't know, I think you need to get some sound walls. Because as Rachel said, the sound for me was very difficult, and I will be listening to it again with perhaps, like, you know, headphones or something, because it was a hollow sound. And as you know, hi, Joan.
Hi.
Do go to a lot of music concerts, and I was wishing you guys had put some blankets on the walls, or I think you need in that space to capture that sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if Corey, if he has, if Sean has anything to add, it would be interesting.
Okay, yeah, no, that it's really appreciated, any feedback on this format, because who knows how long we're going
No,
to
right.
So yeah.
Well, hi, I'm Joni. I'm Corey's mom. Hi. Yeah, no, I was going to say that pretty much the same thing at first. I know both my husband and I were watching, but he couldn't understand much of it at all. So he kind of didn't finish it. But I did. And I found that, first of all, it was extremely riveting to me, the whole thing. I mean, even though at first I struggled with hearing it and hearing the diction, I found that it was better, Missy, when you came forward, then the sound got better. And then when you went back behind the table, the sound wasn't as good. So yeah, that would really help, I think, to somehow be able to fix that a little bit better. But oh my gosh, it just felt so good to be part of theater again. Oh, it was so exciting, and it was so powerful. And I mean, I was a mess, you know, so somehow it affected me as much as it probably would have in a theater. I didn't have a problem just sitting here alone watching it, you know. I laughed a lot and I cried a whole lot. So I'm just really hoping that no matter what happens, that this can go on, and that Corey, you can still bring this kind of thing to us. It was awesome. And Missy, you were unbelievable. Oh my gosh.
This is Kathy here. This is my first time doing this. I've done a few Zooms too, but I felt that there was a lot of give and take, even though we weren't able to take literally in the theater. The words are so powerful in this story. And Carter and I really enjoyed it. Our sound was a little bad too, but I think we're going to all work on that, because I'd love to see something like this happen again. It was great.
Missy, this is Minnesota, and we loved it. We had trouble with the sound a little bit. Your Uncle Bill had to get out, but I was riveted and cried and laughed and was blown away. So blown away. So you're marvelous. You're marvelous.
Yeah.
Well, Missy.
Hi guys, I don't know if you can hear me. This is Travis.
Hi, Travis.
I can't get the screen to work. I don't like technology, and it doesn't like me apparently. Which might be for the best, because I've been crying for about 20 minutes, so I don't want to look bloated.
I know you're crying, Travis. I know you're
We
crying.
all have.
I wanted to tell you that aside from just being generally spectacular, Missy, you deserve one hell of a shout out, girl, because I come from a small southern town in Georgia. As you guys that know me, you know this. And it's not Texas, but you nailed the mindset of everyone in that kind of town in general, even though you were the only character. When you described that principal, that was my high school principal, but he was like 80. So it was so amazing to me how well you captured the characters and everyone, and how well you described that mother, because I had a mother who was very open-minded. She's still supportive of me, but I know a lot of friends who are LGBT, their parents are still struggling, and you nailed that so well. You nailed the accent. You nailed the mindset of, oh goodness, I just don't know, that indifference. Like, it just spoke volumes to me. It felt like I was back in time almost. I felt like I was back in high school again. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank you for that, because it was like, holy moly, like she transported me back to Haralson County in a way. And what I saw was brilliant, truly brilliant. And I thank you for that, because this is something that needs to be told, because there are still a lot of small towns in the South that are, I think they're trying, but more effort needs to be made.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So,
hey Corey, I have a question. And first off, it's driving me crazy if you guys are manipulating the Zoom screen and trying to keep everybody here. It keeps moving around. So I have a suggestion, or I have an idea, because the idea that, you know, Missy was missing the audience. Is there a way to have a limited, spaced out, socially distanced audience so that the performer's experience can be as fulfilling and enriched as the experience that the audience gets? If you're going to continue to do something like this on Zoom or on YouTube or whatever.
So thank you, Nina. And that is definitely something that we're considering day by day as things unfold. And I totally agree with you, and I of course agree with what Missy said earlier, about that is such an important magical piece of the theater experience is the interaction with the audience and the relationship and the symbiosis, I think is what you used earlier. And yeah, I think finding a way to safely social distance with very small crowds is definitely something we'll consider. I was even thinking about this in the last couple of days, and I actually had a couple of prima donors reach out and say, hey, could we be the socially distant audience right now? And my fear actually is that I don't want to create sort of the haves and the have-nots in terms of their ability to come in and experience it, because it is so powerful being in this room watching this piece when she's running it live all the way through. And I haven't worked out, okay, if we offer that to a select group of people, how do we justify that, and who do we allow to be that audience? And
First come, first serve, baby. Easy peasy. Buy your tickets early.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, that's the difference between theater and film.
Yeah.
This isn't, you know, theater is theater, and theater needs an audience, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And it's that shared experience. And as an actor and a performer, I just think this is a platform that's great for like now, but I don't want to get good at this. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. I don't
Neither do
either.
I, Nina.
Yeah, none of us want to speak for that.
And can I just say too, and I 100%, this is not a but, this is an and. It's a yes and, see? I remember.
Improv.
I appreciate that you did this.
Yeah.
And I thought this was good. And I appreciate that you're not rushing us back into a theater together and you're still giving us this experience from home, because I'm not ready to be in a room with 100 or 200 people. It still gives me anxiety. And so this was wonderful. And it's something that I think in terms of audience members, you invite friends and family and people who are, you know, who've been working on the piece. And then, you know, then you still keep it available to people who have compromised immune systems, so that they can still have these theatrical experiences and share in what you guys just created for us, while not feeling like they're missing out on things because they're still compromised. There's still a lot of people who have to stay home right now. There's, you know, I live with a kid with a compromised immune system, and so we're still trying to, you know, keep our circle really small. And it's nice to be able to experience this safely. So I really appreciated, and I know we all really appreciated that you guys did this, that you didn't leave a gap, you know, and you've been filling that gap with Thunderstream for First Fridays and for everything. This felt far more, this wasn't like what we're doing right now. This didn't feel like Zoom, and I really appreciated that.
No, it felt like a huge step forward.
Yeah, it really did. It was a big jump, Corey. It was really great. It was great.
So, you know, I love that even in that small plan there between the three of you, there are some different feelings or different needs, I guess. And so getting back to your question, Nina, I think it's going to be day by day, just like you're doing at the Aspen Historical Society, with what's safe and what's the ideal experience that you can provide at a given point in time. And of course, all of us that are performers agree that we're grieving from not having that relationship with the audience. I came in and bawled my eyes out there when I so being in the theater without an audience. So I think it's, you know, we'll keep having this discussion together, all of us, about what can we do and what are other exciting new ideas and what are different kinds of theater we can be creating in this time. And I think it's an ongoing, I'm going to say, fun and interesting conversation, because we're all artists and we love being creative, and we will lift each other up and we will get through this. So to be continued, I think.
And the good thing is I'm not going to age out of the city for a while.
I thought you just didn't age, Missy.
Mainstream America? I might call Corey and say, do you actually want to mount pink unicorn for an audience in
That sounded really inappropriate.
And dangerous. Mounting a pink unicorn just sounds dangerous.
Okay, I'm gonna mute us. Okay, we're mute.
That's my mom laughing.
Missy Moore, Forever 30.
Oh. Might get unlimited minutes, but we might.
Hey, Corey, this is Greg. I am across the street from the Wheeler. Have you thought about a simulcast if we have to continue in this environment with maybe other production facilities or other theaters throughout the counties?
That is a great question. So, you know, the initial plan here was that we really wanted to do 2 live streams, 2 simulcasts, and then we were going to take a recording of that, and that's what would be posted. And the last couple days, we just realized that there were some limitations that were not going to give the quality that we really wanted of a simulcast.
Mm-hmm.
But moving forward, yes, that is going to be the goal, that having a professional production team, whether that's here or we mount a show somewhere else to do what you just described, that is what I would like to do if we're going to do this again.
Yeah, it's difficult. The weather, obviously, this evening is fabulous. Not a breeze in Aspen right now, and there were so many people in the park. And I just have this vision of a big screen and a theater in the park, because in Aspen, they're certainly allowing a lot of people to be out and about. I hope we don't come to that. I will tell you that the lighting was fabulous, and the camera angles were amazing, and the cuts were clear and concise. And I first joined from my laptop, and then I ended up joining from my mobile because the sound quality was better. And maybe that's an Android experience, but I have good Wi-Fi here in Aspen. But I can tell you that on an Android or probably an iPhone, it was really, really good. So anyway, bravo, and to the cast, and of course, Missy Moore.
Thank you.
So thank you for that, Greg. And yeah, I think that's a great idea to try a simulcast if we continue with this platform. And obviously, we'll be working with sound. Really quickly, everybody, this is our first big Zoom call. Okay, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to continue past a certain period of time, but Sean just said, we're good. So we will keep going. Yeah.
It's working well.
Okay.
Hey, Missy, it's Tony Napolitano.
Hi,
Tony Napolitano. Hey, that was awesome. That was awesome. And I just whoops, you're gone. Well, I was just gonna say that the play was just, as a therapist, you know, I work a lot with kids that are experiencing this issue and parents, and this just really was exceptional. It just hit home with all of the issues, you know, parents and kids are going through. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think it's just really poignant for, you know, a lot of people to see, of course. I thought you did an exceptional job. And like I said, it just hit home with a lot of clients that I work with. So awesome job. It was fantastic. Fantastic. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much, Tony.
I have a question. This is Rachel over here. Is this something that could, since it is on a recorded platform, I know there's an issue with rights and things, if there were some people in the LGBTQ community who are younger that this could be released to, like what do you think about doing with this with the community release, and how can you reach out more to, I'm sorry, my cat's hanging on my neck, reach out more to the LGBTQ community for this?
That's a really interesting question. You know, we had a discussion with the playwright. He's this fantastic, amazing, just brilliant, fun woman who lives in LA, and we just struck a rapport with her right away. We tried to convince her to move here basically instantaneously. And I think she's really open to a discussion about something like that, and I think it could be really interesting to talk with her about, could we do maybe like a day or two where we release it publicly. You know, of course, it's copyrighted material, and she wants to make sure that she's remunerated for her hard work as a playwright, which I understand, and Missy, of course, too. And so we would need to work through those details, but it is an interesting consideration to see if we could do a broader release of it since it's available online.
Yeah, because it's such a good and poignant story, because I know I saw a whole lot of different things in it this time around than I did when I saw it in July last year?
November 2018.
I don't know what bloody day it is today, much less when I saw this. And so I think a continued touch on this piece is just fantastic, and reaching out to other communities and however it can be would be just priceless.
Really quickly, we had a comment from someone out there that bought a ticket for a live performance and having it be recorded was a buzzkill. And we completely understand that. If you did not enjoy the experience, please call us. We would be so happy to either credit you for a future production, a live production, or just give you your money back, because this was a learning experience for us, of course. And in the last couple days, there was such a learning curve, and we really, believe it or not, this was a much better quality than if we had used our live stream platform to do it. So please do not hesitate. You can call the theater at 970-963-8200. Cameron will be happy to talk with you. We're just so happy that you saw the piece, and we're going to make sure that you're happy. So no worries with that, and we were just thrilled that you joined us. So, yeah. Looks like there's another question. Hold on, we're looking at a couple questions here that are coming in.
I have one more comment. Sorry. This is Joni again. I have one more comment. I thought the end was so poignant too, especially in the times right now with the Black Lives Matter and with the incredible divide in this country right now politically. You know, to somehow, how do we ever reach out and get anybody to walk with us? You know, I mean, it just seemed as if it went even beyond the LGBT community. And I mean, it was so huge for the times right now. It was so important, you know? So I think that this piece is great for that right now.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about that we love about this piece so much is that it addresses such an important issue, but it doesn't hit you over the head with the message. It's much more of a human perspective, struggling to come to understand someone that's different from ourselves. And I think that's something really beautiful that Elise did in the writing of the piece. And hopefully there will be more pieces like this that address some of those other issues too. So.
Well, and to piggyback off of what you said, there are a lot of really beautiful plays out there that do deal with diversity and inclusion discussions and conversations. And I find that many of those plays and stories end horribly, that somebody gets hurt, or somebody gets beaten up or left for dead, or they contract a terrible disease or anything. And one of the things that I love the most about this story is that it touches on the fact that, yeah, Jolene's journey is going to be a difficult one in this day and age, but her life is going to be a beautiful one because she's surrounded by love and understanding. And I think that Elise has really broken a mold in narrative of this day and age to make these stories a happy story and one that ends on a positive note instead of a negative one. And,
Halfway through the show, I said to the girls, I was like, oh, I'm so worried about Joe for that very reason. And I was really grateful for that.
yeah, that she doesn't and she finds out who she is, and she loves her life and makes all these amazing choices, and she has her mother's support and her friends' support, and you know, that's one of my favorite parts about this play.
Hi, Missy. Hi, Missy. It's Ann Piano. It was so beautiful, such a beautiful show, and thank you so much for producing this and putting it to have a live theater experience, even if it was recorded. It felt live to me. That's what I wanted to say. I was really struck by the play itself, just that she models a way forward for folks to learn how to listen, to learn how to accept other, varieties of human experience. And I just think the play was really a great modeling and shows that willingness to grow and listen and walk together. So thank you for choosing this piece and producing it again. I was so happy to see that it was coming around.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good job, everybody. Susan, beautiful work. All the tech people, everybody, wonderful.
Thank you so much, Anne.
Any other, oh, there's one more comment that came in, it looks like. Hold on one sec.
Excellent job. So glad I got to see this. Congrats. I think this could be a way to expand audience in the future, even post-pandemic.
My dog was barking, so I didn't want to talk, but congratulations. I'm in Chicago, and I would not have had an opportunity to see this otherwise. But I think that, in light with that, what everybody was saying, this is a great innovation. And honestly, even after things come back to some sense of normalcy, perhaps it's a way to expand audience by streaming at the same time as doing it live, right?
You, Ricky Connis. Yeah. Nice collaborating with you, my friend. I miss it.
Ricky, I think you're right. And first of all, I want to thank all of you again for kind of being guinea pigs with us in this experiment tonight. It means a lot to us that you're just out there supporting live theater. And I think we know the path ahead of us to take this to the next level in terms of quality. I think there's a cost that comes along with that I don't know if we'll be able to cross that hurdle easily unless we find a way to get that support. Because we're struggling like every other theater and nonprofit out there right now. But I think the key is getting to that next level with the broadcasting quality. And Ricky, I think you're right that if we can really nail that experience of elevating the quality, then it could be a way to still have, like Nina said earlier, some dispersed live audience in here together with an online experience that could be really amazing and really exciting. So yeah, I agree with you.
Thanks for tuning in, Ricky Connis.
I want all the back all of her friends after this call.
How much time you got, Corey?
And they all have great voices too. All right, are there any other final questions out there?
No, just thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Kudos, kudos, kudos.
For your friends, this is available on the online platform until June 27th. So please, you're supporting Thunder River Theater Company, you're supporting Elise, you're supporting me, you're supporting the entire artistic community. Just, please tell all of your friends.
Once again, I really want to thank Susan Lyles for taking on this crazy project and directing, and also thanking Missy Moore for their help too, for her performance. So
yeah,
so much to both of you, and thank you. Please send people our way for the show. Thank you.
Yay!
Yay. Great job, everyone.
All right.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Look at Rachel's cat. You gotta see Rachel's cat. that. It's hilarious. Your little derpy tongue hanging out.
Oh, he's a nut job. He really is. He's on morphine, so.
Oh, that explains it.
Well, thank you, friends.
Thank you again, Susan.
Oh, of course. My pleasure.
So we'll see you tomorrow.
I'll be here.
Woo.
I'll be here.
No, you'd be here?
No, I'll be here.
Oh,
I'll be
okay.
here, not here, but here. I love you. I love you too, you guys. Good job.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
No, it
Thank
worked
you.
great.
It did. It worked really well.
And you look like a movie star.
That's because my husband is a movie maker and he lit me really well.
I mean, you came on screen and I turned to Missy and I was like, boom.
One second.
Yeah, that's because you've seen me with my hair back in a knot and no makeup for like, what, a week and a half?
Wow, we'll see you tomorrow.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You too.
You too.
You too.
No,